Well, morning glory and hallelujah, everybody. Welcome to the morning after with Nick and Big J. Welcome to the final day of September. It is the 30th day of the month, 2024. My name is Nick. There's Big J right over there, Big J.
Yeah.
Happy Monday to you, brother.
Yeah, we ended it.
We
September.
did. Right where it began. And what's your final grade for the month of September, Big J?
I'll give it a B.
All right. That's better than last month if you keep track at home. Last month was a C+.
That's because last month was like 600 degrees.
Yeah.
Although I'll say this, at the walk, I was not prepared for it. Would seem to get real hot real fast. Out during the walk, I'm wearing black jeans, and this is the first year I've done the walk that I actually walked.
Uh-huh.
I realized how far it was.
That's probably why you were hot, buddy, because you were walking and doing physical activity.
Well, no. I do that on a daily basis, but it was wearing jeans. I wouldn't normally do that wearing jeans because I rode my motorcycle, and so
and your leather shirt.
Yeah, my leather shirt and the whole thing, leather underwear, all that.
Yeah, you were chafing pretty bad by the end of the walk, is what you're saying.
It was a little spicy. I was like, this is almost October. What is happening?
How did the walk go? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was great.
Nice.
It was wonderful. And thanks to everybody on the Big J Spirit Brigade who showed up. Audrey was there, Bombshell, Nutshell Art Photography, who made our logo, and the guys from Iron Horse Garage and his family, William. So that was cool. And just a great fellowship with a lot of wonderful people. My family showed up that were here in town, so...
How it should be, my friend.
Yeah.
I am glad that you had a fantastic weekend. And then how was Team Mazda? Everybody say hi, get some good motorcycle raffle ticket sales to up that ante a little bit. Love that as well. And so we are very, very excited for that partnership and to continue to see it grow. And thank you to everybody for showing up. Thank you for showing up Friday at Sturman's Wine and Cigars for our big giveaway party. Yeah, it was awesome. It was great. Congratulations to Tammy, who won the trip. She and her son are going to go to the Aftershock Festival.
Sweet.
The big surprise was we had 3 additional pair of Aftershock passes that we gave away on Friday night. So congratulations to all of those that were victorious. Plus the other prizes that were given away. Everybody was pretty surprised because those are some pretty high dollar items that we gave away on Friday as those passes are sold out and are being sold for hundreds upon hundreds of dollars on StubHub or wherever secondary kind of site you want to pick. But hopefully... the people that won will have a chance to make that trek. We made that drive over to Sacramento. It's not that bad.
It's not bad at all.
Just got to figure out some lodging, and next thing you know, you're going to a 4-day rock festival, and that's not bad at all. So congratulations again. Thank you for all listening. And now what do we do, Big J? We turn the page. The Aftershock Power Hours are finished, but what isn't is textual healing. So another $500 keyword is coming your way a little bit after 9 o'clock this morning. Hey, listen, we are about to head into the craziest month of concerts we've ever anticipated.
We call it Rocktober, for real.
A full weekend of giveaways happened over the weekend. Thank you all for participating in that as well. And we have tickets to give away over the course of the show today. So we will do exactly that on top of having some fun like we're going to hell and important stuff. So hang around for today's show. Let's get started with some Offspring. It's the X Rocks.
Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Been to the Idaho Botanical Gardens, Big J?
Of course I have. You've seen me there.
That's right.
A couple times.
And they're going to hold their first ever Growth and Gratitude Days. The idea is to put together a fundraiser to raise up some funds to help improve some of the things happening at the Idaho Botanical Gardens. So starting tomorrow and going all the way through October 4th, the Growth and Gratitude Days will give you, Big J, as part of the community, a chance to support the gardens. That brings a bunch of joy and beauty to the community, along with learning opportunities for the youth here in the Treasure Valley. The donations during the Growth and Gratitude Days will benefit the Botanical Gardens and the surrounding community in a bunch of different ways as the Botanical Gardens continues to do so. Of course, there's multiple ways you can do it. You can purchase things online. You can donate over the course of the next couple of days via multiple ways if you follow them on social media or go to their website. So the idea is essentially using these next couple of days as a fundraiser to help improve the Idaho Botanical Gardens, which of course do everything from concerts during the summer to special events during the rest of the year to come wintertime. Of course, there's Winter Garden Aglow, which is probably the most attended events outside of the concerts at the Idaho Botanical Gardens. But beautiful place to go with a family. It's a wonderful place to go on a date. It's a great place to go during Christmas time. Lots of great shows happening. So it's an opportunity for us to give a little bit back to the gardens, which gives so much to us, Big J, as we enjoy them throughout the year.
Serenity now.
Yeah, you get it. And so if you enjoy the botanical gardens, or you just like to see a piece of the Treasure Valley continue to grow and do good things and have a lot of good options for you as a community, you may want to consider giving. You can do as little as buying a annual membership for $55 a year, which of course will get you in for any particular event that they do at any time. It's a pass that gets you through the gates with everything but special activities and events. And you can give as much as, $5,000, which gets you all sorts of cool different things. So there's a whole list of things you can check out at the Botanical Gardens website. But we encourage you, if you're in a charitable mood, to give to a place that gives so much to us on a regular basis. Big J, agree or disagree?
Agreed.
Well, Big J, you were wrong a couple of times over on Saturday, but
go to
probably
hell.
you were happy to be wrong. It was one of those situations where not only did Boise State cover, they covered pretty handily, and they hit the over as well as they rolled all over Washington State 45-24 Saturday night on the Blue. It was the Ashton Genty show, as we so often are going to be relying upon all year long. 259 yards. 4 touchdowns. I saw a stat that I couldn't believe.
4 touchdowns. I mean, that's ridiculous.
There are exactly 9 people in college football that have more than 259 yards rushing on the season, and he did it in a game.
I just heard this morning some talking heads mention Heisman stuff. They didn't mention Ashton at all.
It's
and I'm like,
crazy.
That he has almost 1,000 yards. He has
crazy.
846 yards on 4 games.
These guys aren't doing their jobs then.
10 yards a carry.
I don't care who you are. If you're not putting his name in Heisman talk or even talking about him at all, you're not doing your job. It's insane how good Ashton is. He is the best running back in the country, and it's not even close.
All of his runs are almost all highlight runs.
Yeah.
Like that touchdown in I don't remember which quarter it was. I mean, he just bounced off a couple guys and kept going. I was like, damn.
That's the thing you need to watch, and that's why it actually increases the amount of amazingness that he is after you see him play. Because yes, it's not Alabama, Georgia in these games. These are Boise State, Washington State. But he's breaking tackles and running over guys. It's not like he has a ridiculous lane to run through and he's going untouched. He's battling for these yards and breaking through contact. And that's the kind of stuff where it doesn't matter what conference you're playing in. It still takes a hell of an athlete to do all these things. So congratulations to Ashton Genty, who is just lighting it up this season for the Broncos and deserves, even though there may be some talking heads that don't give him some recognition, all of it, because it was a pretty big deal. So because of that victory, Boise State jumped 4 spots in the AP poll. They're now up to 21 overall.
Yeah, baby.
And the Mountain West have 2 schools now ranked in the top 25 as UNLV joined them at the bottom of the ranking at number 25 overall as well.
In a couple weeks.
So it's still nice to see some Mountain West schools get some recognition in the top 25 poll, but the Broncos clearly the belle of the ball, as well they should be. Agree or disagree, Big J?
Yeah.
People went to the movies over the weekend. The Wild Robot, #1 movie at the box office, $35 million debut, which was bigger than they thought it was going to be. That's considered a hit. Big J, however, the Francis Ford Coppola movie, Megapolis, bombed at the box office. Only $4 million total.
I didn't even know this was a thing. What movie is this?
So
I don't know anything about it.
Francis Ford Coppola has famously tried to get this movie made for years.
Okay.
He's taken it to every movie studio, and they said, go to hell, this looks like it's terrible. So he paid $120 million of his own money. It's the biggest independent movie ever produced, to put together this opus, his epic opus that he says is like the kill me. Now, this is the director, again, of The Godfather, of Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Some of the most iconic films of all time. And it is a weird, immersive experience. Like, there is apparently a scene in this movie where somebody plays a reporter but does part of the movie live in your screening and talks to the screen, and Adam Driver is answering questions of the person asking it live in the actual screening. So it's like an immersive, weird movie experience, but it also apparently is one of the worst movies that's ever been made. I really, really, really want to see it in the movie theater now.
Also, they didn't do any marketing at all.
That's not true.
I haven't even seen. Listen, I am in the lane of most movie trailers. I mean, I haven't seen nothing.
I've seen it all
movie.
over the place. So I think it just depends on your algorithm and all that kind of stuff. But they at least are online, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff. But also, I think it's because I'm seeing a lot of Reels things. So I'm seeing a lot of the people in the theater filming the experience and seeing some of it, and it looks bonkers. I kind of want to see this movie as soon as possible because it's not going to have a theatrical run very, very long. And so I'm thinking like either today or tomorrow I might actually go see this movie. Beetlejuice slid to second place. It brought in $16 million. It did reach the milestone of $250 million domestically. Transformers 1 is number 3. It made $9 million. Devara Part 1, which is it opened in fourth place. That is like a, it's a foreign film from India that opened up in fourth place. Yeah. Speak No Evil, number 5 at $4 million.
Future streaming dumbass, probably.
Which one?
Devara
no,
Part 1.
I wouldn't do that.
Why? I got to see Triple R.
Yeah,
that movie was awesome.
That's different, though. That's more action-based. This is not. Morning After with Nick and Big J.
It says an epic action saga.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong, because this says drama in the story that I'm reading. So, I don't know. Maybe it's a mixture of both. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There is your first round of important stuff. It is the X Rocks. Whoa, that's a day to remember. That is feedback here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Not often that I learn completely new things that I've never heard of before at this point in my life, but I stumbled upon this and I think it's very, very interesting because I'd never heard it before. And although it does pose some problems, so I wanted to bring it to you because I know you had been mentioning that you've been working together, although it sometimes seems like a futile kind of cause, but you've been trying to clean out the garage a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah, that topic will be broached this morning in Big J's Weekend Grid.
And so if you are somebody that likes to declutter your home or go through things and figure out, okay, what can I keep, what can I keep? There's lots of rules of thumb that go along with it, but there is one rule that I have never heard of before, and it's called the poop rule. Have you ever heard of the poop rule?
No, you don't poop in the garage?
No, it has nothing to do with your garage per se, as much as it has to do with you decluttering and maybe making difficult decisions like, okay, this has got sentimental value to me. Is it something I want to hold on to? Is it something I might need? Or is it something I need to get rid of? And the poop rule states, if you have a hard time hanging on to stuff or you don't know what to get rid of, you need to think about this in terms of poop. For instance, if the object that you're thinking about has poop on it, would you wash it off and keep it? Or would you just go, there's no way I'm fighting that battle with poop on this thing. I need to throw it away. And that is the poop rule, which I think is very interesting. It is a good way to think about something, albeit gross, but it does put things in a different light that maybe you're not in that headspace that you would be in if you're decluttering someplace. So you're going, do I need to donate this? Do I need to keep it? Do I need to get rid of it? If it had poop on it, what would I do? Would I spend the time to clean it and make sure all the poop is gone and then keep it where it is? Or would I just go, this thing is now garbage? And I think it's a very interesting thing. Although, again, for me, it's different because if there was poop on something, it becomes garbage to me. There's nothing
it's forever unclean.
That is correct.
If it's touched something like that for Nick.
I will forever see the poop on that thing or wherever it may be, and it'll never come out. And so, yes, it is a different mental game for me. But I do like it because, again, I think sometimes if you were in that thing of like, okay, I have some sentimental value attached to this, I don't really want to get rid of it. But it puts you in a thing where you're like, okay, if I'm looking at this objectively and there was something disgusting happening to this object, is it truly worth all the trouble to keep it or do I need to get rid of it? And I think it's nice. It's a good little tool to use maybe.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like that.
So if your garage was covered in poop, Big J, would you throw it away or would you wash it all off and
garage?
keep it?
Yeah, absolutely. No. You got a motorcycle in there. What the hell are you talking about,
I'm not talking about things that come in and out of the garage on a regular basis. I mean stuff that's stored in there.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil what's coming up because these exact conversations were taking place.
Oh, it involves poop.
No, not poop.
Wonderful. Oh,
not poop. But I mean throwing stuff out.
Well, whatever it takes for you to cross that mental hurdle, this may be one of those, especially when you're trying to declutter. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about big, large objects in a garage or you're talking about cleaning out a closet or you're talking about going through your kids' toys. All these things are something that maybe might put you in a different mental place.
And you might be having like hoarder panic. Like,
what is that?
Am I a hoarder? Oh, my God. Why do I have... I hoard electronic stuff, and there's no reason for it. Some of it just needs to go. I have cables that I'm like, I'm never going to use, but I might need it.
I have the same thing. I have a drawer full of like wires and adapters and all sorts of stuff just in case. And I always say that. I'm like, well, this would be good to have just in case. Have I ever in the last 17 years needed one of those wires? No. I still have them.
I have a drawer full of like 4-foot HDMI cables. And I'm like, well, I'll need it at some point, but every time I'm like, nope, I need an 8-foot one.
Yeah, you need a longer one. Buy a new one,
probably
right?
get rid of these.
Or we'll buy something and then I'll stumble upon it in that drawer and I'll go, son of a gun, it was there the whole stupid time. And I just wasted $7. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We will talk to Mrs. Big J about Big J's weekend and see how that garage played a factor in it. It's next on the X Rocks. That's Pearl Jam. That is Jeremy here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. We talked to Big J about how his weekend was, but we really need to get down to it.
Yeah.
Which means it's time for us to check in with Mrs. Big J. Kylie joins us on Monday mornings to give Big J an actual grade for his weekend. Good morning, Kylie. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, whoa.
Of course, Big J has a history of getting really good grades when you are out of town for the weekend, but that was originally supposed to be part of the plan, but all that kind of changed. Did that affect his weekend grade at all?
I mean, he was coasting into an A. Like, he was coasting right in. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be here all weekend. And then he called and said, hey, because we're getting some electrical work done on Sunday. He goes, hey, I'm moving. We have this big shelf in the garage that had just a ton of stuff on it. He's like, I'm moving all of it. And I'm like, oh, are you sure? Like, I was kind of worried, you know, he could re-injure himself or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, no, I'm doing this. I'm like, okay. And I was like, he's getting an A. Like, he moved that whole shelf by himself. He's like, I did it.
Wow.
I come home, and I'm thinking, you know, what? Nothing's wrong. The yard's not mowed. But I walk in the house, and I look on the table, and I say, what happened here? He goes, I broke it. I go, it's a family heirloom of ours. So we've had in our family since, like, the 30s. So it was my grandparents. It was in their house. He's like, oh. He's like, why did you glue it back together? I'm like, oh.
No, you tell the story right. I said, yeah, I know it's a family heirloom. That's why I didn't throw it away when I realized it was broken.
How did you break it?
It just fell off the shelf, and I didn't see it, and it was just kind of hanging on by slim thread, and it fell down. It's a cross with Jesus on it. And I was like, oh, no, I'm cursed now.
I was going to say, I believe that's some sort of bad luck.
But what she's not saying is that I also threatened to start throwing away a bunch of stuff because our garage is littered with just so much stuff. And I'm like, can I just start throwing stuff away? She's like, no. And she was very concerned that I was actually going to start throwing. She's still worried I threw away stuff that I haven't told her about. And I'm like, you do that. I don't.
He better not have. He better. But then,
no, I would never do that.
Yeah, but then this cross that's been in our garage forever, right?
Yeah.
Just happens to be the same day I come home. My aunt messages me, and she goes, hey, you have this cross? I didn't know who had it.
Oh, my God.
I'm
For
like,
real?
oh,
Yeah.
no.
That's insane.
It's like when I
100%.
broke it, it just opened up and told the whole family, hey, this is in danger.
Is it like broken beyond repair? Is it going to be tough to put together?
Here's what people don't know is that I am the go-to super glue expert in the family. So whenever something's
Sure.
broken, they come to me, this needs super glued.
All right.
So I think I can fix
You
it.
found all the pieces and chunks, so you'll be able to piece
I
it
think
together.
the pieces will fit.
All right. That's a tool reference, everybody. That sounds good. I like that. So other than the garage, his weekend, well, he did mow the lawn, you said, right? So that's got to be a strike.
Well, we had a family emergency
True.
from Thursday all the way through. All the plans that had been set up were gone. And so we were broken between two different households doing stuff. And so, there was a lot of stuff that didn't get done because of that.
That's a fair excuse, in my opinion, but I'm not Kylie.
I don't know.
Not
I'm
giving
trying
you a
to
grade.
get her. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. One thing, though, about you being the super glue expert in the family is true, but you complain, I'm not doing that, and then we have to leave it on your desk forever. So just, be a good super glue expert.
Yeah, Big J, be a good super glue expert for
Listen,
once.
if I'm not bitching about something, I'm not having any damn fun.
We did discover this last week, Kylie.
Yeah.
That is his MO. He does have to, at first, absolutely deny doing it and not taking part, and then eventually it will get done. But I can understand the frustration. So I know it was a trying weekend for you and your family. I'm glad everybody is okay. I'm sorry that you missed your trip, but we do have to ask you for a full grade for Big J for the weekend. How did he do?
B+.
B+.
Oh,
All
B+.
right. So listen, breaking Jesus only took you down a notch. That's not bad. B+ is a pretty good weekend.
I would say extenuating circumstances. Otherwise, it would have been a C.
Yeah. Now, of course, if this breaking Jesus on the cross brings some sort of curse to your family, I imagine this grade could go down a little bit, right?
Yeah, it sounds like it's already happened.
Fair enough. Fair enough. No, that's not fair. I mean, I believe that's happened on Saturday, right? Before all this stuff happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
Friday, maybe.
There you go. You're all right. Kylie, we always appreciate you. Sorry you missed out on your trip, but have a safe one this weekend. So who knows? An A could be around the corner for Big J before he knows it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful. Thank you for the call, Kylie. We appreciate you. Have a great day.
Take care.
Love ya.
Good job, Big J. B+ is pretty good. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Important stuff is on the way. Also, we're going to hell on the X.
Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Big J, 48% of Americans don't know their family's medical history.
Oh, that's a lot.
Found out after a survey of about 20,000 adults. 22% of women polled said they knew they had some cancer in their family, but they were unsure of what type. There's a lot of different types of cancer out there, of course, and early detection increases the odds of successful treatment, and family history is a big kind of indicator of what particular type of cancers you should be looking for, because while not every cancer, nor cancer in particular, is hereditary, it's still nice to know those kind of things. And so it's important that we know some of this stuff, but sometimes it's easier said than done. Like, how are you with your family history of medical stuff?
I think pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm okay to a point. Like, I know my dad's side pretty well, but on my mom's side of the family, my mom, who, my grandfather on my mom's side, who I was around since I was a kid, is actually my mom's stepdad. My mom's dad never in the picture. So missing that entire version of that particular technical family history, of course, while my grandfather, who I call Grandpa Chuck, may have had some stuff technically not part of my bloodline, and so that becomes where it gets a little bit blurry, and back in the day, who knows what's going on. So there is certain parts of my family's medical history that I am unfamiliar with or don't know, and I think a lot of people find themselves in that situation. Some of that can be easily found, others is not exactly easy to dig up, or it depends on how much effort or work you want to put in, but it is something that we probably need to be aware of, or at least as aware as you can be of this particular situation.
Nick, do you want to know more? Because I know somebody who can find out.
I'm sure. But as I've said before, the only time you're getting my saliva is the old-fashioned way, when I spit it in your face.
Well, I'll wait for you to put down your mug over there, and then I'll go swab it.
Swab my mug?
Like I'm Joe Kenda.
like you see like the TV things where somebody, you offer them coffee, and they go, "Gotcha, sucker."
You walk out, and I'll go, my. What I have here.
You do not want to see the fit I throw when that happens. I'm kidding. But, hey, congratulations to the Boise State Broncos. Big win on Saturday on the Blue. Nice little blowout of Washington State there. 45-24, your final score. This is a marquee matchup for the Broncos on the Blue, the biggest home game of the season. And it was a big one, highest attendance ever for a Boise State game.
Yeah.
That's always nice. And then you see Ashton Genty put up those numbers, 259 on the ground, 4 touchdowns. It was a big night for the offense, and the defense held serve. So it's the kind of game you want out of a team that's ranked, and that's exactly what Boise State gave you. Washington State falls to 4-1. Boise State improves to 3-1. They actually move up in the AP poll to number 21 in the nation. Congratulations to them. It's really nice to see the Broncos kind of where they deserve to be. I agree or disagree?
Yeah, agreed. And you don't want to say, this loss is paying off, but Oregon continues to do well, and so that makes that loss even better.
Yeah, considering how lost it was, absolutely.
How close that game was.
Just got to take care of business the rest of the way, and then you never know what happens with the playoff looming this particular season. So good things abound for the Broncos if they can continue on this particular trajectory, and I think they can.
Oh, yeah.
18-year-old baseball fan named Max Mattis has filed a lawsuit to stop the auction of Shohei Ohtani's 50th home run because he says the ball was wrangled from him in a scrum. For now, the auction continues. The stakes are high. They expect the opening bid to be about $500,000. So now you understand why a kid is fighting for this baseball back. But I don't know if you've ever seen a home run hit into the stands, but it essentially turns into a battle royal for these things. And the more valuable the ball, the more big the battle royal is. I did not see the scrum when the ball went into the crowd, but I imagine it was probably elbows and fists flying everywhere until somebody came out of that particular pile with the ball, and I'm sure it wasn't fun. And I don't know if Max actually had it or not, but I'm just saying now there's legal action against this ball, so we will see what ends up happening.
Got to go to Insta Replay on this one.
I suppose, and even then, it's probably inconclusive, as most Insta Replays are. Big J, it was a rough weekend for celebrities. We lost 3 big ones over the weekend. First and probably most prominent, Maggie Smith, Big J. Iconic roles in Downton Abbey, the Harry Potter films. She passed away on Friday at the age of 89. She was in a hospital battling an illness, but of course she is one of 24 actors that accomplished the prestigious Triple Crown of acting. She received an Academy Award, an Emmy, and a Tony. She did win 2 Oscars, Big J. One for The Prime of Gene Brody for Best Supporting Actor in 1978, and then for California Suite as well. So she has been a big part of the acting community for a very long time. Then we lost John Ashton, Big J. He's a veteran character actor, probably known best for his roles in the Beverly Hills Cop movie, including the one that recently came out on Netflix. He was also great in Midnight Run, which I had forgotten he was in, but that's the other really movie that you might recognize him from. He passed away at the age of 76. He was battling cancer. And then Big J, Chris Christopherson died on Saturday at the age of 88 in his home in Hawaii. And so he, of course, stage, screen, and, of course, a recording artist, which means, Big J, only Willie Nelson of the Highwaymen is
bringing to light stories that are incredibly f***ed up. Oh man, we're going to hell.
Rotten hell, you worthless maggot!
The Morning After with Nick and Big J on 100.3 The X Rocks.
There's a real distinct possibility you may have seen some videos from today's We're Going to Hell story, because it was a pretty big story over the weekend. And if you haven't, it's about as gross as it can get. The story comes to us from China, and the reason why we're talking about it is because there's a ton of footage about this story that you can see pretty much anywhere you go. But over the weekend, Big J, last week, I should say, there was an incident that happened on a very busy highway in the southern region of China. During rush hour traffic, there was a moment where a brand new sewage pipe that was being installed erupted, and it essentially shot a ridiculous amount of human sewage into the air, and it was like misted.
Old Faithful, but poop.
But actual poop and pee and all those things that you don't want your car or you or anything covered with. And I don't know. There must have been so much pressure in this pipe, because the cloud reached, they want to say, about 500 feet in the air, sprayed mist around. They're saying it covered almost 3 to 4 miles.
What?
And then they finally shut it down.
Crap, literally.
Yes, but there's everybody has a dash cam over in Europe and Asia, and so
smart.
There's a ridiculous amount of cameras that have this pipe exploding and then watching just human fecal matter rain down on these vehicles and people that are walking and all sorts of. It just looks like a straight up nightmare fuel. And you called it. It was like a geyser. They called it a volcano, essentially. I mean, it was up in the air incredibly high. The mist is going. There's huge brown chunks of waste flying all over the place.
Dude, it's got to smell so bad.
Yes. And, the brown cloud lasted for a while as well. And, just everybody was covered in it.
Is that what happened in this building?
No.
Was this building affected by the volcano in China?
I don't think they were related. However,
are you sure?
Big J is referencing the fact that none of our bathrooms in this building currently function.
That happened after I left. And
Yeah.
I get here this morning, and I saw an email, but I didn't think it would carry over.
Yeah.
And so there's no bathrooms available here
That is correct.
To use. So I don't know if we're going to get together like a community honeypot.
We're going to need one, because what was happening was if you would flush any kind of waste here in the upper part of the building, it would leak out into the lower part of the building. So the bottom part of our first floor was covered in gross stuff. So almost the opposite of a volcano, like a flood of fecal matter and urine was getting pushed downstairs. So yeah, our bathroom situation here at the radio station, not great. I had to go off site like 3 times to go to the bathroom.
Where'd you
Friday.
go?
I went to the gas station down the street. And then I went to the Starbucks.
Dude, that's
like you had. That's what you have to do.
But you don't want to go to a public rest. You don't want to go to the bathrooms here.
My eyes were yellow. I had to go to the bathroom. I didn't have a choice, and I didn't have to go number 2, so that was fine.
We got the generator back there. You could hide behind that thing. You're fine.
Adam was saying that we could go in the little dog park that they built out here back here, and nobody would know. But they took down some of the trees, so I think the people on the freeway might have a view that they would soon forget. But it's not, it pales in comparison to what was happening here. So the good news is they figured it out. However, several vehicles and a bunch of buildings sustained damage from the stomach-turning explosion that happened. It likely occurred when construction workers attempted a pressure test on the newly laid pipes, and guess what? They failed.
Fail. So that's what you get when you make stuff in communist China.
The aftermath was quickly attended to, and different ways to prevent a future sewage explosion are being investigated, according to the local authorities. But the optics of this particular thing, pretty gross, knowing that this gigantic cloud that you see is just a whole bunch of poop and pee.
Volcano.
Yeah. An S-storm, if you will. A bleep storm is what it looked like. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your We're Going to Hell story. It is the X-Rocks.
Here's traffic.
That is 3 Days Grace. I hate everything about you here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. An appropriate song to play before we talk about this particular topic. Big J, America has a bit of a problem currently.
A couple.
Yes, that is true.
We got a couple problems.
We're going to focus on 2 in particular. Number 1, we are at a high for sexually transmitted diseases in the United States of America.
Oh, no.
There's a lot
up,
of people dealing with a lot of problems, and the reason why, Big J, infidelity is at an all-time high as well. We can't stop cheating on one another.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Ask Dave Grohl.
I don't know what to tell. He won't answer my calls.
Oh, no.
But 55% of people who are currently dealing with a sexually transmitted disease have their cheating partners to blame for it. So not only are you cheating, you're not taking care of it, wrapping it up when you're cheating, and you're coming home with some sort of problem and then bringing it into the relationship, which of course is a real problem.
Yeah.
Survey also found that 13% of people with a current sexually transmitted disease say their partner lied to them about being healthy, and they took their word for it, and then turned out they got a sexually transmitted disease because their partner was lying about it. Now, health officials, of course, are urging that honesty and regular testing is the best way to combat this stuff. But the problem is, when you're in a relationship with somebody, I believe you automatically want to trust somebody. And so when they're lying to you out of it, then that becomes an issue, which, of course, it just creates more and additional problems down the road. But,
some guys are getting chlamydia from toilet seats.
That's they'll say. Yeah. They're probably not being true about that. Especially during the relationship. And one of the biggest problems is a bunch of STIs don't have any symptoms until they become serious, and then it becomes a problem. And so there are some situations where people don't know they have it because they haven't had any symptoms. But, if you would stop cheating on your significant others, this would reel it back just a little bit. So what do you think is going on in the year 2024 that so many people are cheating on their significant other?
Was it more than in the past?
Well, we're at an all-time high. That's all this. According to the survey, we're at an all-time high. So, yes, I guess according to the data they have, it is more serious than it has been.
Yeah, I can't tell you.
Is it just because of we have more access to other people in the year 2024 than we have in the past? Like, there's thirst traps and there's people out there and there's all sorts of different ways that you can go and different ways about being, I guess, inconspicuous, or if you're in a relationship or not, or you can just reach out to some rando by sliding into their DMs and that turns into an affair.
I don't know. So, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know either, but we got to get it under control because now all of a sudden it's leading to an increase in sexually transmitted diseases, Big J.
Yeah.
And we haven't even talked about things like the fact that they are crazy high in our older population, and things like super gonorrhea and super chlamydia have mutated and transformed because they become so basically immune to the antibiotics that we use to fight them that it's difficult to beat these things when you have them. You would think with all of this data that we've been shown, we would be more careful in sexual situations, but we're still just not.
Well, I mean, there's so obviously a lot of mental health that's a part of this, that you're not thinking straight when you do this stuff. Just ask Dave Grohl.
Yeah. Well, it's not like he's the first guy to ever cheat on his wife in the world of rock and roll.
It's just one of those things where, you're doing this stuff and you're not mentally, straightened out.
You're not thinking with your brain. You're thinking with a different part of your body.
Yeah, you're thinking with your other brain.
But again, I mean, a lot of times when you think infidelity, you're automatically putting things on the male side of things. But what they found is there's still a ridiculous amount of females that are cheating on their significant others, too.
Yeah.
And so this goes both ways. STDs can come from both sexes and all sorts of different things. So it's something to just keep in mind. Is it worth the risk? Who knows? I mean, again, you can also just break up with the relationship that you're in if you're not happy in it, and then whatever happens,
that's for normal people that are normally thinking.
Right. I guess that's the truth. But
you add in substance abuse and all kinds of other things in there, and you've got a real recipe for disaster.
Sure. There's lots of things that could go wrong in all sorts of relationships. It's just a matter of having the respect for your significant other not to do that kind of stuff when you're in a relationship. It's easy to do when you're outside of a relationship, but sometimes it's just a mental game, and you got to be cognizant of these things that are out there. So just be careful, everybody. First, be a good human being, be kind, treat others with respect, but also don't be a complete scumbag and just start passing around STDs to everybody, all right?
Yeah.
Can we help that out there, please? Morning After with Nick and Big J. It's our American health update. Coming up in a few minutes, some important stuff. We also have your pop culture smackdown. It's the X Rock.
She a legend.
Important stuff.
What's going on in the news today?
The Morning After with Nick and Big J.
I don't think this is a controversial or a hot take or anything like that.
Oh,
but
bummer.
I feel like when you're young and you're dumb and you're trying different things and there are ways that you hear that you can get high from doing something, I don't feel like any of that stuff goes away. It just kind of comes in waves. I'm saying this because
like when a new generation finds something.
Yeah, kind of. I say this because in the 80s, maybe it's just where I grew up or how I grew up, I feel like there was a lot of talk about huffing something.
Oh,
you remember? Okay,
yeah,
huffing
absolutely.
gas or huffing paint or whatever.
Just fumes.
But
whatever.
then, in the 90s and 2000s, nobody talked about huffing.
No, I disagree.
Well,
I think
it was
there
a thing,
plenty
but
of
it wasn't
huffing talk.
there wasn't a ton of it. Do you know what I mean?
I think in the 90s, it was more about glue.
Yeah, sniffing glue.
Sniffing glue.
But even then, that was like an airplane joke back in 1982. I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
but
always
he also
a
picked
thing.
the wrong week to quit amphetamines. Right. So, I mean, it was pretty much everything.
I'm just saying.
Something he quit.
These references stop being so mainstream at some point. They're coming back because huffing has got a different term, Big J. It's now called chroming. And it is gaining popularity.
Witness me!
On things like that. Exactly. Dude.
I mean, that isn't to get high, though. He's shooting chrome in his face.
I understand, but that's what they're using it as a reference to.
Yeah.
Not that that's how you would actually properly do it in any way, shape, or form. But it's becoming a trend on different social media things, and parents are unfamiliar with the term, and so it's becoming a little bit more mainstream. But huffing is something that's been around forever. Yeah. It's just now kind of making a comeback. But there's always been serious consequences attached to it. It's addictive. It can cause brain damage. It can cause death. There's all sorts of stuff to it. So they're advising parents to be aware. Chroming is what they're now calling it, but it's the equivalent of huffing back when you were a kid. And it is a potential recipe for dangerous consequences. So keep that in mind, something to be aware of. But once again, everything that is old is new once again, Big J. We're just calling it different stuff at this particular point. So beware of chroming or huffing as it was known back when we were kids. Ashton Genty had a big game, 259 on the ground, 4 touchdowns. Your Broncos beat Washington State 45-24 on the Blue on Saturday night. They moved up to number 21 in the AP poll because of that victory. Big win on the home turf for the Broncos. Good job, guys. We're going to talk baseball here, Big J. Before your eyes gloss over, there's a couple things you need to know.
Okay.
First of all, history was in fact made. Although the White Sox put up a fight, they did lose on Friday, setting the record in the modern era 4 baseball losses, but they won 5 of their last 6 games. You got to give it up to them. They only beat the record by 1 game when they had the ability to really kind of trump it, but they didn't quite get it done. So it's still a record, but it wasn't as big of a deal as it was. But the baseball season ended yesterday, but things still aren't exactly clear. They have to go extra innings. There is a doubleheader in baseball today. That is huge. The American League baseball playoff picture cleared up on Sunday, but the National League is still a mess. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, as far as there are 3 teams that are still kind of fighting their way through 2 wild card positions. So the NL kind of matchups are uncertain because there were a couple of rainouts last week caused by Hurricane Helene. So now the New York Mets travel to Atlanta and will play a doubleheader against the Braves today, and that's going to figure out where these playoffs go. So here's the deal. Arizona finished 89 and 73. The Mets and Braves are both 88 and 72. So if either team sweeps the doubleheader, the Diamondbacks will reach the playoffs. But if the twin bill is split, the Mets and Braves will advance, and the Arizona is out because the Diamondbacks lost their season series to both New York and Atlanta. So Arizona can only be the number 6 seed if it reaches the postseason. Then they will play the NL Central champion Milwaukee Brewers. If the Braves win either game of the doubleheader, they would play at San Diego. If the Mets sweep the doubleheader, they become the number 5 seed and play at San Diego. If they split, they're the number 6 seed. They go to Milwaukee to face the Brewers. So it's a mess still in the National League. 162 games, 164 technically, for these 2 teams. And we still don't really know exactly how it's all going to shake out. So
baseball. We
will see after the doubleheader what the playoff situation is in the National League. Speaking of things I'm not sure people care about, DC Studios is preparing a feature film around 2 iconic Batman villains, Bane and Deathstroke. Big J, do you care?
I don't know.
Matthew Orton is the guy they have tasked to write the... Why don't you know? Do you not know anything about
where's
these
it
villains?
fallen? What's happened? I know, of course, about Bane and Deathstroke.
That becomes the question. Which Batman are we talking about here? What's the tone of these movies? Like, Bane is a story that's kind of already been told in the Batman universe.
I thought
in the Dark
really
Knight.
well. I thought it was great.
But they're bringing it back. And here's the other thing. They hired Matthew Orton to write the script. Now, Matthew Orton is the guy that Marvel hired to write Captain America Brave New World. The problem is they've had to go back and reshoot now 3 different times this script that he wrote. So how good can it possibly be? I don't know. But we will see. And Deathstroke is a guy that they tried to make a movie with in the Zack Snyderverse, but nobody cared then. And also, Deathstroke, now Deadpool, to be fair, is a complete ripoff of Deathstroke. That's kind of the joke behind Deadpool. But we already have a Deadpool movie, and Deathstroke is kind of like the DC version of that. Are people going to care about what is going to be a little bit more family-friendly version of Deadpool? And the answer is, I'm not exactly sure. Now, whether or not this is it says a feature film, this could turn into a series like The Penguin is on Max. Don't know what Batman universe it's in, if it's in, Robert Pattinson's universe, or if it's in the one that
Chronicles of Narnia or Noir Detective Land.
Yeah, the one that James Gunn is creating, which, of course, Batman's going to have a son in. So who knows where this is going. But there's a lot of branches coming off of this DC thing that I don't even know if they know what tree they're planting these things in. I don't know. This one I'm a little bit more kind of like about, but we will see how it all comes together and if people are going to care. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. We will have your Pop Culture Smackdown next on the X.
Here's Pop Culture Smackdown on the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Yeah, we got a huge prize here for Pop Culture Smackdown. We're calling it the Knitting Factory 6. How about that? Because we got tickets to a bunch of shows, 6 of them for you, that we'll hook you up with a pair or 2, okay? Highly Suspect on the 6th, Set It Off on the 8th, Citizen Soldiers Happening on the 9th, Black Dahlia Murder, Hawthorne Heights, and Flat Black. You'll get tickets to all of those shows. But you got to beat me Pop Culture Smackdown.
So this is a 6-pack of tickets to all 6 shows happening at the Knitting Factory Concert House in October. It is a big deal. You'll have essentially 12 tickets coming your way if you win this prize package. So if you want to go to pretty much every show at the Knitting Factory in October for free, Now's the time to get on the phone. 208-287-1003. If you want to win all of these tickets to the Knitting Factory, you're going to have to defeat Big J in the process. Big J, do you think you have what it takes to win a couple?
I do, yeah.
All right, we'll see what happens. Hello, the X.
How's it going?
How you doing, man? What's your name?
Jay.
All right, Jay, you're up first. Jay, what fictional Kansas town is the earthly home of the young Superman and also happened to be the name of a series on the CW for several seasons?
Smallville.
Yeah. Right. That is correct. Smallville is the right answer. You're officially taking on Big J. Big J, what is Homer Simpson's middle initial?
J.
That is correct.
Homer J. Simpson.
Back to you there, Jay. What Tom Hanks comedy became the first film directed by a woman to gross over $100 million at the U.S. box office? I'll give you a hint. Go, yes.
Oh, what's the hint?
The hint is Tom Hanks went to bed, a man, woke up grown up.
Oh.
Big.
Yeah. Right. Big
Just
is correct.
hand it to him.
Now, listen, man, it's a hard question. Big
I
J,
knew it.
what woman directed that movie?
Penny Marshall.
That is correct. Right. Back to you, Jay. What is the actual name of the book series that spawned the television series Game of Thrones? Was it called Rain in Blood, A Song of Ice and Fire, or Dragon the Line?
A Song of Ice and Fire.
That is correct.
Right. Good job,
Big J, what horror franchise featured the character Samara Morgan?
Let's go with Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. Wrong. No, I'm sorry. That's incorrect. Jay, do you happen to know?
I do not.
We're looking for The Ring.
Right.
The Ring is the correct answer. Congratulations, Jay. You got a 6-pack of tickets to a bunch of shows happening at the Knitting Factory Concert House. Well played, sir. Hang on just 1 second. We'll get some information from you and make sure you're good to go. There's your Pop Culture Smackdown. Up next, very excited because a band that will be in town on Thursday at the Rev Center is Badflower. The entire band joins us next on the X Rocks. But it's good to see you all. How are you?
We're all very good.
Thank you for
having
carving
us.
out some time and being on the show. We're very excited to have you guys back in town. How goes the tour so far?
It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, nobody else wants to chime in. That's it.
No, it's been a lot of fun. Been really good. A resounding yes. It's been yes.
You know, speaking of tours, obviously we're super excited because you guys are going to be here on October 3rd. For Badflower, what's the recipe for a great live set for you guys? When do you feel like you get off and you're like, man, that was it?
It's all about quality ingredients, ripe bananas,
Cold beer.
Ripe avocados.
All right.
Crucial.
Sweaty crowd.
A sweaty crowd.
Sweaty socks.
Yeah, you can't perform well in a cold venue. There has to be sweat. Everybody's got to be sweaty, and then it's good.
Got a little fan in front of me.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you know, you guys all have everything that you need to make a good show come together, and you look good doing it. That's the important part. And I got to give you credit for when you put this whole thing together. I love this bill that you have put together top to bottom. I'm a huge fan of Sloth Rust. I love Mizio. I love that you guys are putting this together. Was there any kind of thought behind that, or is that all above your head, what gets picked to open up a show like this?
No, they usually send us some options, and we love both Sloth Rust and Missio. We've been talking about having Sloth Rust out with us for a long time, so we finally just made it happen. And then Missio offered as well, and we were like, yes, definitely.
Yeah, there's nothing better than like a little bit of diversity on a bill, and I think there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that on this bill, which is awesome.
Yeah, agreed.
We have to ask because otherwise we're not doing our job. Detroit's a fantastic song. You guys have knocked it out of the park once again. I know you're kind of slowly but surely releasing some stuff. What are the updates for a Badflower album, full on coming soon kind of thing?
We never have album updates.
No?
No, because it's never done. It's going to be done the day before it's released. And I don't know what day that is. I can't help you. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We had to ask.
But we're working hard on it. We're actually working on it, continuing to work on it on the bus on this tour. So I will say that we've done the majority of the work. Like all the drums have been tracked. The majority of like the other parts, guitar parts and stuff have been tracked. It's just like making sure that all the vocals and lyrics are all perfect. And I'm crazy with that stuff. I'm a perfectionist, so it takes a long time.
And it shows. I mean, I know the story behind Detroit, why it's called Detroit. I just wanted to see if maybe there's a possibility that we could have a song called Boise on the album when it comes out, and maybe there is. Maybe there is.
Oh, yeah.
Depends on what happens on the bus before the show.
Yeah, maybe if something's written in Boise on the bus before the show, then there very well could be. There's actually going to be 2 city names on this album.
Oh, that's some Easter egg action. Do you guys?
We're breaking news to everybody. All right.
Yeah. So that's news. That's news. I haven't said that to anybody.
The writing on the road is. Does it matter to you where you write your songs? I mean, some people prefer they want to be locked up in a cabin out in the woods somewhere, or this or that. Does it matter to you where the songs get written? Does it make a difference?
What matters is that nobody is around to listen and judge. So that's why the cabin works out. I actually live on a farm. And the farm has become the hub for the band. And one of the reasons I did that was I can scream as loud as I want at 4 a.m. and do my weird creative shit, and nobody is going to hear me except for the cows. But I don't mind; they can hear.
That's awesome. I love your process, Josh. We have been fans of the band for a really long time. I think I've told you this story before, but it was back in I think 2014, 2015. We had a gentleman come in. His name was David. He dropped off a song. He wasn't attached with you guys in any way, shape, or form, but he had a copy of your song Soap. And
wow.
we heard it and we're like, oh my God, this is great. We put it on the radio station. We cage matched it. It won 5-7 days in a row. It got retired and we started playing the song. So we've been a fan of Badflower for a really, really long time.
No way.
For real.
You're the only radio station in the world that played Soap.
It's true.
I'll tell his name is
so
Mark.
Cool.
His name is Mark Jacobs, and David Jacobs, right? I don't remember if he knew your manager at the time or the person that helped produce the EP, but he's the guy who brought your song to the station, and we were like, this kicks a whole bunch of ass. But it was really, really cool. So we love you guys and have for a really long time. I don't even know if it means anything to you, but it's cool.
No, that does. That's really cool. I don't know who David Jacobs is. That name does not ring any bells. So, but thank you, David.
He's floated around in the radio promo world for a while, but yeah, Soap. I mean, and for us, it's we're proud of that because of not just of what you guys have become, but we could tell then that you were writing really good music, and nothing has changed since then. What's changed with you guys in the band since it's all started?
I mean, lots of stuff.
Living situations.
Yeah, locations.
Yeah,
mostly.
Also, getting validation in this industry changes the way that you write songs too. It makes it a lot harder. Living more comfortably makes it harder.
Mm-hmm.
It's more comfortable and more fun, but it's harder to dig in and find that angst. Sometimes it's just not there, and we refuse to be the type of band that fakes that, which is why a song like Detroit makes perfect sense for us because it's exactly where we're at in that moment. But then there's a lot of fans of our band who are into the hardcore angsty stuff from the early days. And we're we can't pretend that we feel that way now. So we're not going to do that. However, there are moments when we feel that way and we make sure to write songs about them whenever we feel. So yeah, but it's different. It's different. It's not the same process at all. It's a lot more difficult now.
And I think
also there's more of an audience to judge you too, which changes things. When we wrote Soap in that first EP, we didn't have any fans. Nobody cared. So we're just let's just make something we think is cool.
Yeah. Authenticity is important, I think. And, people who are fans of your band, like you said, they can tell the difference when it's fake and when it's real. And after a while, you can only get away with putting out so much fake stuff before it catches up with you. So I think that's really cool that you were no matter what happens, we need to be and remain authentic to ourselves.
Yeah, that truly is the most important thing for us. Even if people don't like it or don't respond to it in the same way, at least we can sleep at night knowing that we're not lying to people.
No, and the beauty of Badflower is you guys have always been that way because, while we have lived you for a long time, I think the first 2 or maybe even 3 times we saw you guys was out in Vegas when you had to play those conventions that all of us rock idiots go to. And it's a radio convention, which is the worst goddamn audience in the world. And you guys are out there killing it in stores. And then you get into actual gigs on stage and put it together. And, you're in front of people with their arms folded, just trying to be impressed, and you're killing it, and made us all huge fans. And I got to give it up, because I knew the second you went on stage, I'm like, I'm going to love Badflower forever, the way that they're killing it in front of us idiots. So I always want to give it up for you as well for that, because it can't be an easy gig. It just can't.
You know what? At that stage, we were so used to doing weird shows like that. That one wasn't even weird. Like, that was perfectly fine. Yeah. And you call yourselves idiots, but I seem to recall the John Barbados store show being awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
I remember it being super fun. Like, there was nothing weird about it.
It was weird though, having a showcase in a retail store. It was a little different, at least for us to watch. I don't know.
We played like Hot Topics and shit. We've done worse.
Yeah. That's true, I suppose. Yeah. But now
this was a designer store. This was cool.
You're doing the headline thing, and you're out on the road. I love the video for the Detroit as well, which kind of showcases a lot of you guys behind the scenes doing this. That has had to up your ante a little bit too. The social media game, the behind the scenes stuff. Do you enjoy doing that kind of thing, or is it just you guys being you guys?
Doing what exactly?
Like, having stuff behind the scenes, having a camera crew follow you around, do that kind of stuff. Or did you know it was for the video, or is that just all like real kind of casual stuff?
No, it's all real stuff. We've had people holding a camera on us for pretty much the entirety of our career. And so to make that video, we just dug through hard drives of stuff. We're like, let's just get a little bit from every sort of period and show how much fun we had when we had very little, and when life was a lot harder and we were getting on airplanes that we could barely afford the tickets to get to some show that nobody was going to be at. And, those were the best days. Yeah,
man, it's awesome. It's awesome. I love the video. I love you guys. I cannot wait to see you on the 3rd. You're going to be at the Rev Center, bringing a great bill with you. That is next Thursday. We're going to be there in full force, and we are excited to have some fun with you a little bit pre-show sound check party style. So thank you for inviting us into that, and we are looking forward to seeing you guys. So thank you for the time. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Please bring us your best potatoes.
All right. We promise.
Your best.
Okay.
Unbuttered.
Okay. You have unbuttered. Unbuttered. You got it. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you very much. Have a good one.
Rock on.
News you can barely use. It's headlines on the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Headlines are as follows, Big J, but it has a first name. A super suing, and nice work, kid.
But it has a first name.
U.S. Customs and Border agents arrested an American woman who tried to cross from Mexico into Texas with more than 700 pounds of bologna in her car.
Huh.
The 43-year-old woman was questioned at the border, and she declared only having one singular cooked meal. However, a further inspection of the vehicle revealed several heavy suitcases filled with bologna, which is prohibited to bring into the United States due to the risk of introducing foreign animal diseases into the country. The bologna was confiscated and destroyed. Goodbye, bologna. Agents also found undeclared prescription medications and more than $7,000 in cash. Is there a bologna black market that I don't know about?
Probably.
Does Mexican bologna taste better than American bologna?
I don't know.
Is bologna good in your opinion?
I haven't had bologna in a really, really long time.
I feel like if you had grown up when you and I grown up, bologna feels more like a punishment than anything else.
Yeah,
like bologna was not a good meal. You had it when there was you were on the ass end of everything in the fridge.
We were out of ham. Here's bologna.
You had to make a sandwich and all that's left is bologna. Oh God, no, why? The woman was fined $1,000 and all that bologna is gone, Big J. So goodbye to 700 pounds of bologna.
People bring in a lot of food. They don't realize the food and stuff that they can't bring in. Obviously, this person knew that they were trying to bring in stuff, I think, with all the other things that they found. But in our watching of the Border Patrol, people try to bring in all kinds of foods. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, some things you're aware of. Some people are being, purposely obtuse and trying to play the dumb game to bring some stuff back. But yeah, there's definitely rules about that kind of stuff, and they certainly don't find everything. But when they do, watch out.
Mm-hmm.
A super suing or nice work, kid?
Nice work, kid.
Oklahoma student who bought $5,000 worth of dinosaur bones did something interesting. Discovered a whole new species of dinosaur within that bag of bones. His name is Kyle Weltman. He's a PhD candidate, and he has been named a new dinosaur, Pharaoh's Dawn Chicken from Hell, or the Eurypheron Infernalis in Latin. The student thought he had purchased bones from a particular type of dinosaur, but realized something was off when the remains were smaller than expected. His heart skipped a beat because he never expected something like this to fall into his lap, but it did. It's about the size of a chicken, but it's definitely a new style and species of dinosaur that we have never seen before, and this one's got a full-on skeleton in a bag. How about that?
Wow.
So, see, we're still discovering stuff from the dinosaur.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now, you're not going to find that in Jurassic Park, I'll tell you that right now, in front of God and everybody.
Take that, Michael Crichton.
Wrap that up with a super suing. A 20-year-old Taiwanese man took his own mother to court after she threw away his manga collection, Big J. The 64-year-old mother said her son's Attack on Titan collection was damp and wet, so she decided to recycle them to free up space. However, when her son came home and realized that all of his comics were gone, he called the cops on his own mom. She has been fined about 5,000 Taiwanese dollars, or about 160 American dollars, for property damage, but now he's suing for additional damages because his mom threw out the comic collection. Now, we tell you often, don't throw anything away, but I guess it's a little... I don't know if I sue my own mom if she threw something away.
Yeah.
That seems dark and cruel.
Unless she's, like, rich and mean.
Right. And it doesn't sound like she did it on purpose. It sounds like it was water damage stuff, but the son, for whatever reason, doesn't believe it. But still, there are things that can be worked out with simple conversations. You don't have to sue everybody. That's no fun. And also probably damaging your relationship permanently, right?
Sounds that way, yeah.
You'll trust me, when you're older, 20-year-old Taiwanese man, you're going to feel really bad about suing your mom, I promise.
Yep.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your headlines. You're officially up to date on everything. We got your bad impressions. They're next on the X Rocks.
Bad impressions.
So far, I'm not impressed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
All right, we got a great show coming up here at the Knitting Factory on October 6th. It's Highly Suspect coming back to town, and with them is a band called the Dead Poet Society, a great band. So 2 great bands here. Going to be a fantastic show. We'll get you tickets to this for free. All you need to do is figure out the clues today in Bad Impressions.
All right, 208-287-1003 for these shows, for these tickets to the show on Sunday. If you'd like to go, Bad Impressions works like this. Big J has got a celebrity on his mind and in his heart, and he has written 3 clues to describe you, a way to get to that celebrity. If you can figure out who that celebrity is in 3 clues or less, congratulations. It's you going to Highly Suspect on Sunday, and you're living the high life. Big J, are you ready?
I'm ready, and this is a band, not a person.
All right, see? That's what happens when I try to explain it. Hello, the X.
Yeah, I was calling in for the bad impression.
Wonderful. You are halfway there. What's your name, man?
My name is PFG.
All right.
Peter frickin' Griffin.
Okay, Peter. This is a band now, not a person, all right?
Okay.
All right. The name of our band was grabbed from a Quentin Tarantino movie, Kill Bill, and a special kung fu move.
Okay, next.
The Way of the Fist was our first album, and our last album was Afterlife.
Okay, the next one.
Zoltan, Ivan, and Chris have been in the band now for a long time.
Okay, can I get one more?
No, it's 3 clues, man. You can do it.
5-finger gut punch?
Yeah, there you go.
Who needed an extra clue? Not you, buddy. You did it.
I know. I was just trying to get in.
You did it. Hang on 1 second, man. Highly Suspect tickets are yours. Why is 5-Finger Death Punch in the news?
Man, Ivan Moody's been having a time. In fact, it was a rough weekend in there. I think Louisville is where Louder Than Life Festival is happening. Yep. And they had all kinds of weather, obviously, from the hurricane spillover. And so a lot of those sets got canceled. But the 5-Finger Death Punch didn't. But a hole appeared out of somewhere. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but Ivan fell into this hole on the stage and messed up a rib pretty bad. He fractured a rib and is injured and finished the set. Didn't realize how bad he was hurt until the next day when the adrenaline and everything wore off, and they had to cancel one of their opening sets for Metallica, which sucks.
You ever fractured a rib?
No.
It's so difficult to describe how painful it is unless you've actually done it. And I mean, 1, I'm sure hurts just as much as 4 or 5, but boy, it sucks to have a fractured rib. And there's like nothing you can do other than just be and hurt.
As a singer, I would imagine it would be very difficult because you're using your diaphragm all the time, and that involves breathing. And so you can't do that very well. It's going to be hard to get done.
Get well soon, Ivan. It sucks. How does holes just appear in? Is it maybe he had the mapping wrong and he took a spill on like a pyro thing or something?
Unfamiliar stage.
Festival.
You're playing a festival show, so who knows what the fallout and that's going to be.
But get well soon. That is not fun. Never fun to take a fall. Morning After with Nick and Big J. As I get older, falls seem more and more dangerous. I tell you what.
I re-injured my hand over the weekend, too.
How did you do that?
I was trying to prevent one of the dogs from doing something, and I jammed it right into the couch. And I thought, I got to go to the doctor.
Yeah, you told me you were going to go to the doctor.
I know. I don't have time, man.
All right, man. All right.
I'm going to call today, I promise.
All right. Thank you. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We wrap up the show here next on the X Rocks.
If you're...
Breaking Benjamin. We'll see them on Sunday. I Will Not Bow here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. That's going to wrap it up for this Monday morning and the last day of September. Thanks for hanging out with us. Big show, man. We had a chance to visit with Mrs.Big J. Kylie gave Big J a B+ for the weekend, which is a really, really good grade. Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
Nothing to sneeze at, my friend. We also had a chance to call Suzette and give her $500 for a Monday, a great way to start off the week. Congratulations again to Suzette for winning Textual Healing on Friday. You have 4 more keywords coming your way before it's all over. We gave away a 6-pack of tickets to the Knitting Factory shows happening this October. That trend will continue tomorrow, and we even had a chance to visit with Badflower. A band will be here on Thursday. It's a big Monday show, Big J.
Yeah.
We have set the bar fairly high, and now it leaves you with the floor.
The Olympics are starting to pay off for some people. In fact, one of the participants, South Korean silver medalist, she was one of those shooters, Kim Ye-ji, who shot internet fame with her icy stance. She's landed a role in a movie. Fittingly, she's going to be playing an assassin in an upcoming action film called Crush.
Congratulations. Although the only shooter I remember is that guy from Turkey.
Well, see, now the Turkey guy, his what happened is people started pointing out this young lady Kim first, because she had competed before him, but in that whole kind of realm of shoot, the kind of sport it is, they've got all kinds of stuff on, and then he stood out because he doesn't wear any of that stuff.
He was just like, whatever.
Trust me, you'll see that guy in a movie at some point too. I'm sure.
I'm sure you're right. He just wants his cat back, if I remember
Yeah.
right. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There is your show. Thanks for hanging out with us. Jason Drew's up next. We'll see y'all tomorrow. It's the X Rocks.